Hello, and welcome to another edition of All or Nada According to Jack with your host, Jack Toledano. As you can see, I have beads. And a cold because I marched in a St. Patty's Day parade earlier today, and Mark remembers this in the town of Wantagh, New York. So
Yep,
had a
One
great
tour.
time. Yep, Wantagh. Yes. So introducing everybody. So Mark Weinstock, he's a longtime friend of mine, and we used to work together. Say hi, Mark.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. And then of course there's George X, also known as George Lamie, who's well known on Pete Pardo's In the Prague Seat on Sea of Tranquility. Hi, George.
How's it going, everyone? Glad to be back.
Yep. Thanks for being back, George. And then, of course, there's two Georges. So there's George. Oh, man. So this is my daughter's boyfriend, George Parsekian, who I've had on with me many times to discuss all things pro wrestling.
Nice to see everyone again. Go Yanks.
And go Rangers. We were literally, while you guys were recording in the Prague Seat, we were watching the Rangers shellac the Nashville Predators 7-0.
Didn't they just win 6-0 yesterday?
They won 6-0 yesterday. It's 7-0 right now in the second period.
The Garden's rocking. Both teams.
Yeah, killing it right now.
But it was literally 5-0, not even 10 minutes into the game.
Those trades are paying off, I guess.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Patrick Kane's my favorite player like ever, so it was a good day for me.
So anyway, so our discussion tonight, and this is really, I've been seeing this flash on my Facebook a lot, and it's really been pissing me off. This whole World Baseball Classic thing that's been going on, and we had a feel-good story in the beginning where a Japanese pitcher actually hit somebody with a pitch, and next thing you know, he sent them this big box of candy to him and to all of his his teammates as a way of apologizing. For me, that was like the only good thing that's
I didn't see
happened.
that actually.
Yeah. You heard about that, George?
I didn't.
Oh, wow. So
Did you see who was in Japan a few days ago though?
no.
At the World Baseball Classic? It would be a huge story, and unfortunately, I'm probably sure the first thing we really want to talk about is the big injury for the Mets. But it was Steve Cohen was in Japan watching Team Japan play. Why do you think he was there?
Why is that?
He's trying to let Shohei Ohtani know I'm here. I'm here for you.
Oh, gotcha. No,
Yeah, I
that's
think he'll probably
some low-key recruiting.
yeah. Hey, why not?
sending a message.
Yeah.
I want you here.
Yep.
That'd be a
Wow.
good
Yeah,
thing.
it's refreshing that they have an owner like this. You're not too far removed from you-know-who.
Yeah. Yeah. But the very pressing story is even before this happened, I had my reservations about the fact that why are they doing this now? Is this something that should be happening after the season, after the baseball season, after the World Series? Is this something that really should be happening now that it could potentially, basically ruin a team's postseason, what's the word I'm looking for?
It could ruin the entire season
yeah,
for a team with
yeah.
detrimental injury. It
Right.
really set you back. Not everybody has a Steve Cohen to go and replace a guy like. I know everyone's upset about. I'm sorry, who got hurt? Was his
Edwin Diaz?
Edwin Diaz getting hurt,
Yeah.
and it's terrible. But I mean, the Mets do have Robertson. I wouldn't think that anyone else really can close, but he'll go get somebody else probably. Gonna get Zach
Ottavino.
Britton. Ottavino's more of a setup now, but either way, he'll be okay. It's just, is this really the way they want to spread the game by having these guys miss the entire baseball season now? So
But speaking as a Met fan, I had a very bad taste in my mouth at the end of the year last year. They won 101 games, and then they lost to the San Diego Padres in their own building. So
Gotta get that division.
yeah,
You gotta.
yeah,
and
That's
you
tough.
and seeing this where the guy doesn't even injure himself on the baseball field, it's after the game, jumping up and down, celebrating with his guys, he gets hurt. It's yeah.
it's a freak thing.
You know what I think about that?
What's that?
The most asinine thing about that was I have no problem with the celebrating. I think in Latin countries, smaller countries, and in Japan, it's very serious to them. I mean, I
Right.
was just at the brewery with my friend, and he bought his tablet just to watch Puerto Rico play.
Wow.
He's one guy, but there's got to be plenty more of that.
Mhm.
Down here, maybe there's some lineage there.
But I was also
The
okay.
way they celebrated was just very, they were knuckleheads.
Yeah.
I'm just be honest. If you watch that, and I don't know if you can go to the footage and show it, but I'll explain to you.
I don't
They
want to
gave-
see it.
They get beautiful. They won the game. They're excited. It was an elimination game. I get it. But when you have a bunch of guys jumping and coming at you, if you notice, Edwin Diaz was walking back as they were doing it. Now, they always say, you got to make a business decision when you play sometimes, and you got to just not overstrain. And this was the time to do it. He's walking back while people are hopping on him, like, and he's walking back. To me, I'm bracing myself and I'm jumping with them, or just,
Right.
it's like a chest bump coming at you. You're bracing yourself. You're not going, oh, he's walking back. So if somebody, as he's walking back, lands on him heavy, there's your ACL. It's a torn patella. He
Yeah.
lands on it, you twist.
We
That's
can get
all.
into
Well,
we can get into how he got injured all we want, but the fact of the matter is, it's a freak thing, and it's a celebration. It's just
no, I
they shouldn't be
disagree.
celebrating an elimination and an elimination game that's not really meaning anything anyway. You didn't win anything, in my opinion.
No, but they would have went home if they lost.
I understand that,
Right.
but
It's
Edwin
important
Diaz.
to these Latin countries. I know it is.
Well, it's
So
funny.
to
Just
me,
skip
and his
ahead.
teammates running at him, they have to know, like, don't it like make sure. It's like, now, okay, they're young, they're emotional right now, but you know what? Again, who's paying you the big bucks? He has a contract. These
Yeah.
players have a contract with the Mets. Now, when I mention a business decision, it's your role as an athlete during the off season to know that your career is based on your health, and it could this could have ruined Edwin Diaz's next contract.
Well,
These are things that gotta kick in.
Yeah,
$102
$102 million.
fortuitous for Edwin Diaz. He just re-signed with the Mets. What's it?
$102 million
Over
25
5 years. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Exposure.
But what
Well, that's
really
just
pissed me
timing.
off the other day was Francisco Lindor saying, "Oh yeah, the WBC means just as much to us as the regular season." I call bullshit
I
to
want to say
that.
one thing about that. So when we're going as far, when we talk about like national tournaments like this is the only tournament in which Puerto Rico can play as a country. This is
Right.
the only uniform that says Puerto Rico over the front. I kind of understand why they want it more than anybody. And they finished runner-up the last 2 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? They had a great team, and they probably, in my opinion, top 4 in this tournament. Very big letdown. And that injury sucks for the Mets and for Edwin Diaz in general. But
He's got to make a business decision during that celebration.
It's a freak thing.
But,
That's what it is. It sucks.
I think me personally, I think it should have been avoided. And now he's paying the price. He's learning the hard way.
But
Shouldn't be jumping up and down on a mound, in my opinion.
one little
Yeah.
bit of comic relief. So while I'm seeing this flash on my Facebook the other day, right immediately after he said, "Oh yeah, WBC means just as much to us as the regular season," directly under that, another Facebook feed, the Mets, where it said the Mets single game tickets now available. Yeah.
Those workers got to put it out there.
Yeah, I know, but the worst time to kind of needle the Met fans was that.
Yeah.
So we haven't heard from George in a little while. George, what do you say? Any comment?
This made me sick. I'm not even a Mets fan, but it's just like, first of all, your quote from Lindor, that sickens me.
Yeah,
he's got to know better.
It's so jingoistic to be this jacked up just because it's a country versus country thing. to put that above your day job, to
Yeah.
a championship that's been around for 125 years. How long has the WBC been around? I mean, it screams jingoism.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I keep seeing people use the phrase, what did you call it, George? A freak event or freak accident. The thing is, it's not like tripping over your dog at your house. That you got to be at your house. No one's got to be at this thing.
Yeah,
Right.
You put yourself in a situation. It's kind of like riding a motorcycle, or I know a lot of contracts they'd have risky behavior clauses. It's kind of a risky behavior. This is not the first guy that's been hurt in a celebration.
Right.
One of those home plate ones where they're doing the same thing,
Oh, yeah.
up and down. But the fact that it's happened before leads you to believe that it's a possible risk, and to engage in it over a game that doesn't really mean anything besides jingoistic pride, I don't like
Right.
it.
Yeah.
It was
I agree.
negligence. It was negligence. It really was.
Meanwhile, you have Mookie Betts saying that, oh, it's a freak accident, could have happened to anybody at any time. I don't agree with that either.
Not someone that's not there can't.
Yeah.
They're accountable. They're
See what I'm wearing,
accountable.
right? My guy Aaron
No-
Judge said the Yankees need me more. I'm gonna stay here. So
Actually, so did I'm sorry, what the Japanese player played for the Yankees?
Hideki Matsui back in the day
Hideki
said,
Matsui.
and
Yeah.
for Japan, it means a lot. He said
You know
I
what?
can't do it.
He earned my respect.
that was in
definitely.
09, I think. And guess
Yeah.
what happened?
Yeah.
The World Series. I guess.
Yep.
I'm not as strong on this. I'm okay with them going. I mean,
You heard this.
maybe we're just overreacting on all these injuries in hindsight. I mean, Altuve did get hit in the hand today, and now he's gonna be
that was
out
rough.
2 months. So
They said they don't know. Could be half a season. Yeah.
Depends on how he heals, but
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I see both
technology.
sides of this upon just about participation in it.
However, I could see a lot of baseball fans around the country being happy about that one. Yeah.
you don't wish injury on anybody.
Yeah.
But
No.
it's gonna happen
No.
to somebody. I don't like.
Remember
remember.
Altuve?
Yeah.
I'm not a
No,
big
no,
Altuve.
no.
Not my buzzer. Don't take
Yeah.
No.
Somebody else I was
Uh-huh.
working last night, and
Yeah.
somebody at the bar actually said,
Uh-huh.
well, he could have got out of the way, but the buzzer probably got got in his way. So he could-
At least with Altuve, that
Uh-huh.
could have happened in a spring training game.
Yeah.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
the difference.
Couldn't have.
See, that's
Nobody-
the difference. Nobody's jumping up and down after winning a spring training game. That wouldn't have happened if he was here.
Yeah.
He
Exactly.
probably wouldn't have been in
That's a good point.
many games anyway. But
I like the
Sad.
event though. I think it's a great
I
event.
think they need to do it
It's a
directly
good event,
after the
yeah.
season. So that he would have been out for a year anyway. But at least you're giving these guys time to
Yeah.
recuperate after. You're not
Right.
doing it right before the season start. A week before the season starts. That's when the final game is. Like it's.
Now, if it was the Olympics, I can understand it.
That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
They're trying to grow it so
But-
it becomes an Olympic sport.
But still, and I disagreed with when they hockey, they had their own tournament and they stopped the season for about a month and went to this
the
tournament.
World Championships.
Yeah, I didn't agree with that either. But
Hmm.
luckily, none of our favorite players got hurt at that point.
Yeah. A lot of players did. I'm not going.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
and I guarantee you, if this was in the middle of the baseball season, nobody would go.
Right.
Can't believe they go when it's. I wouldn't go. I don't understand.
That you can't do. That's obvious.
You think
Right.
it's
It's too much of a marathon of baseball season. You can't break something like that up.
I should have done this literally 2 weeks to a month after the season ended.
Yeah,
That's what they should have done.
absolutely.
you think you'll
Um,
start seeing contract clauses?
I'm
Okay.
sorry, say that again, George?
You think you'll start seeing contract clauses forbidding this?
Well,
Or-
apparently, you can't block a player if they're healthy from going to the World Baseball Classic. The only thing that needs to happen is these guys have to be fully insured before they go. Like, so Clayton Kershaw wanted to go, but they couldn't get full insurance on him, so he couldn't go. But you as a manager or an owner, you can't go to a guy and say you can't play in the World Baseball Classic.
Right.
So I don't know if they'll change that, but
You
doubt
could
it.
send minor leaguers there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, a lot of teams, that's all they have.
I could see
Yeah.
a lockout happening over this in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Because if I'm an owner, I don't want to.
yeah,
I mean,
I
again,
wanna
like you're already
pay guys
competing now with
salary.
guys like, well, we live in New York, so we have the two richest owners in baseball.
yeah.
If you're, another team, I can't replace, like, the Astros can't replace Altuve. I'm sure they can
Yeah.
because they have a ridiculous farm system. But, like, you know what I mean? They can't go out and buy another second baseman like Cohen could or Hal Steinbrenner could. Not that Hal Stein spends any money anymore, but
I'm sorry, were you saying something, George?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I thought you got cut off.
I'm
in
sorry.
mid- No, that's all right. I thought George got cut off in mid-sentence, but
So when do you think they should play this?
I would say, just as George said, maybe a week or two after the World Series.
That
There
has to have
need
been brought up before, right?
I'm sorry?
That has to have been suggested before, right?
I think
Yeah.
I think it's definitely been suggested, but how are you doing it now? It just doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
made no sense at all.
there would need to be some separation, and the only danger about doing it right after the season is the quality of baseball. These are worn down 162 plus playoffs.
Oh,
The quality, it's like Thursday
Right.
night football, you know.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
It's the
understand
same
that, but
thing.
if you want to prevent
Um,
injuries, I don't know.
So what I would do is, since it's so important to them, have them report sometime in mid-January or late January. Get them warmed up, get them ready. Boo-hoo, they got to go to camp early, but they
Hmm.
love this event.
right,
If you don't like it, don't go. The kids
Right.
will go for the exposure. That's for sure. And then the week after the Super Bowl, start it.
yeah,
I mean, you're only saving like 3 or 4 weeks, but any
Right.
time is time.
Yeah, agreed. You can't do it like in the middle of spring training. Be like, stop. We're gonna go to the World Baseball Classic,
No.
and we'll be back right before this.
Make them report, because after the Super Bowl, what's going on? There's nothing
Nothing.
going on.
You got hockey.
but I'm surprised nobody's torn a hamstring or other baseball type injuries.
Yeah.
That's going on.
Yeah, to me, that injury was just lack of awareness
Yeah,
of what
Yeah.
your situation is and what the big picture is. You got to make a business decision there.
Yeah.
Start with the deliberate celebrations. Just go up. The U.S. won yesterday. Great game. Trey Turner hit a grand slam. They were all amped up. They were high-fiving, but they weren't
Right.
leaving the ground. They were just, yeah,
Right, yeah.
high-fiving. Easy. But you could still,
I mean, I can see
Ah.
that. We invented the game, and we've had one championship, and
I think it means a lot
Yeah.
less to American
right.
players than it does
we
to all
care
the
more
rest of
about
them.
the World Series.
Exactly, because
But,
that's what they grew up wanting to win.
on another note, so now supposedly if there's any trumpet players at Citi Field now, I heard they're only going to play taps.
Taps. Yeah, I thought of that one. Well, no,
Yeah.
that's mean.
Well,
He's a Mets fan, so he's
But,
trying to be humorous
but
about
I was also pissed off that Steve Cohen. So another Facebook quote from today. So that he supposedly not only did he get Diaz a personal trainer, a nutritionist, and a personal chef. Reward.
I love that.
Yeah.
Me, honestly, I love that.
Yeah.
He's a guy that's trying to get an edge. He
Yeah.
wants to, he's all in, so you
Yeah.
might as well just fill out all the open ends.
He can
You're
afford it.
selling him. Maybe he doesn't train in the off season, and that added to his risk for
Yeah.
injury.
Right.
Maybe he eats terrible. You're as an owner, you're
Yeah.
you're supporting him. I
Yeah.
don't know the conversation, but did a chef come to his door? Hey,
He must have. Yeah.
yeah, but
Tell him
I
just
like
drop
that.
by.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So, anybody else have any other thoughts? Because I pretty much blew through all my little notes and everything.
I'm watching Fairleigh Dickinson against Florida Atlantic. I'm not watching US versus Cuba.
Oh, okay. We
Shame
were
on me.
watching Rangers Predators, but that
Yeah,
gets
you see that
in the
they don't
bag
get the ratings for this. I mean,
Full
I-
disclosure,
it's-
I've never seen WBC. I just don't have any interest in it.
America's winning 7-1 right now. If anyone-
okay.
You know what, George? I've thought about maybe putting it on during work hours, but you know what? It's not that interesting to me. I forget about it, and then I end up not
Mhm.
watching. I'm just reading about it after the
It's
fact.
more important to those smaller countries
Yeah.
that are just in their infancy stage in baseball. It's good for the game. And
I
if
know
they
it
could
was
compete
Puerto Rico.
against like a Julio Rodriguez
Right.
or our players who's great, like Trey Turner's in this game, he's good. If they could compete against those guys that they watch, and they're kind of it's good. I'm okay with them going, but just make business decisions when you play.
Can't get hurt playing in an exhibition.
But I did
Yeah.
hear that it was Puerto Rico that faced was it Dominican Republic that they knocked off?
Yeah.
And
That's
I
a
know
big
that
win for them.
that must be a big rivalry because they're so
Well,
close to each other.
DR is also the favorite. They were the favorite to win it. And
Ah,
so
I get the mindset because I've through my life I've worked with a lot of Hispanic guys from a bunch of different countries, and it's very competitive. You know, my food's better than my women are better. So the fact that they have sports to argue for, I mean, I can just imagine why.
And you know what amplifies that? The
Yeah.
name on the chest. When they
Yeah.
wear it, they see you. They see I have mine.
right. Okay.
and it's also that's why I think Puerto Rico cares about it more than everybody because that's their
Right.
only
Well,
national team.
I wasn't aware of the fact that Diaz was like he was not trying to be in on the celebration, and that
Yeah, I actually haven't
It-
seen footage of it at all.
he was. It sounds like you're saying he was more of a victim of circumstance. So
He should have braced himself.
yeah,
Business decision there.
yeah,
He invited it a little bit, just the lack of awareness.
right.
And I feel bad. I don't think he deserves to be out for the year. Don't get me
No.
wrong. I just
No.
think, not a kinder and fair lesson would have been out for a few weeks.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, if
can't
he
choose that.
if it was
Yeah.
a position player, then maybe he'd be back sooner. But if
Mhm.
as George was saying, he's got to push off on that leg, and he can't throw that 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
It's
That's
a right
Once you
leg.
have a ligament in your leg, knee, ankle,
Yeah.
doesn't matter if it's the push off. That's what happened to Dylan
Right.
Betances. That's why he
Right.
was the best reliever in baseball for 3 years, and then I think it was his Achilles actually. But either way, you can't push off the same.
But
No.
as a Met fan, I've seen those games where he's been at his worst, and he served up a few gopher balls and cost us games, and we don't want that either.
He'll. I
Yeah.
think he'll be all right. He's very young. Just got to do the rehab. He'll be all right.
But,
Yeah, you don't need an elite closer to really. You can find one.
They have David Robertson. David Robertson's a good closer.
He has definitely experienced.
I think
He's
they're also
older.
going to try to get Zach Britton, but I don't like that move.
They
Exactly
just
the
took
same.
somebody off of waivers. I forget who.
I didn't see who. I heard they're talking about getting maybe Familia again too, but I don't like that
Oh,
either.
God.
I'm not
Mine
kidding. I
telling
just
maybe
read
you
that
could
before
find
thinking.
someone in the minors.
Yeah.
Cohen's gonna pull a crazy trigger, and everyone's gonna be like, "How did you do that?" I'm telling you,
Hmm
Yeah.
he'll get like Trevor Hand or something. I don't even know.
Maybe
So,
it's Edwin
George-
Diaz chef.
Yeah. So George, what's the scuttlebutt in the Chicago area? Any talk about it?
Somewhere between the lesser enthusiastic people are like 500, but
Mm.
some people are starting to have a feeling about this team like they could surprise because the division is weak.
Right.
If the guys that they signed max out, you could sneak in there and win it. So it's somewhere in between there.
All right. That's cool. I've never been a Chicago Cubs hater, so I wish them the best.
I was rooting for you guys when you won the World Series.
Yeah, so was I actually. Yeah. We both were.
That was a
Mhm.
classic series.
It was
Yeah.
awesome. And I'm not a big Cleveland guy. As a Yankees fan, I don't like Cleveland. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember those moths.
oh yeah.
They've been known to say some not so nice things to our players. Who is it? Who's the pitcher that had his mother had just passed away, and somebody said something really mean and nasty to him
In Cleveland?
in Cleveland?
I
Yeah,
don't
it was a
remember that.
Yankee pitcher. I
I don't
forget.
remember.
A big heavy set guy. I
Oh,
forget.
CC?
No, not
Oh,
CC
David
Sabathia.
Wells?
David Wells.
Okay.
That's who it was. Yep. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I felt bad for him, but no, they talked about it in the news, and so basically it was a postseason game, and he won the game, and he said, "So to that Cleveland fan, this one's for you," is basically what he said.
Good for him. Good for
Yeah.
David.
Yep.
Cleveland hasn't won.
No.
Well,
Uh,
that's what happens when you cry poverty all the time. Sell the team. Sell the team.
And then you have a 30-foot wall in left field. What's the deal with that?
that was a Seinfeld moment. What's the deal with that?
Yeah.
Always comes back to
Oh
Seinfeld
yeah,
with
yes,
Yeah.
yep. I'm always talking about Seinfeld. But Mark, you haven't been watching. I actually had an episode about the other show, Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I think you saw it, George, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Curb
I
Your
love that
Enthusiasm.
show. That show is
Good
as
show.
funny as hell. And my son Jason shocked the hell out of us at Christmas time with a subscription to HBO Max. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, so and actually, just to give all of my viewers a little heads up, I might be doing a review of the Elvis movie that I just saw on HBO Max.
You watched it? I
Yeah,
didn't watch it yet.
you know what? It had that much of an impact on me, and George knows I'm more of a metal and hard rock guy. Both Georges
Mhm.
know, yeah.
Yeah, you should do some reaction videos.
It's not
You
really
know,
a
throw
thing.
some like a little R&B at you.
I could
Yeah.
put on some rap and see what
You
happens.
know what,
Yeah.
Mark? I do like some R. I like the '60s and '70s R&B, so that could be
Yeah.
a future show. But
Well, that's what they want to see. Someone who, like, is a devoted fan to one genre, listening to other music, and
well,
it becomes like an interesting,
I like to come from a position of more musical knowledge, like George. I give George a world of credit because he's on the show in the Prague seat,
mhm.
and that is, you have to have some good musical knowledge on that show to be able to have all these points of references and talk
Yep.
about bands that aren't as famous as say Yes or
Mhm.
Genesis or Emerson,
Mhm.
Lake and Palmer.
Do what you like.
What's that?
Do what you like.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
he's right. The reaction channels are based on that fish out of water vibe. That's what people like.
And those
Right.
go viral like crazy.
But meanwhile, they get all these damn views, and I don't understand it.
It has to be like organic though.
Yeah, yep,
Because you have young kids reviewing songs from the 80s, so you want to see like, wow, what do they think about it?
right,
Do they understand it was actually organic music more
right.
than it
Like,
is?
I just saw one recently where these kids they did a reaction video to Rob Halford's vocals, and
Mhm.
I don't know if you know Mark, the lead singer of Judas Priest. George
Mhm.
knows.
Yeah, some of those channels got over 100, got over 1 million followers.
Kills me. I'm if I'm lucky, I can pull in 1,000 views, but whatever. It's the price for being honest, I guess. But anybody else have anything they'd like to say before I call this a wrap for the night?
I think we got it covered.
All right. So anybody see my beads? So yeah, as I mentioned, I was walking. I marched in a parade today for St. Patty's Day, and I just would like to let everybody know that this episode has been brought to you by the makers of Jameson. Uh, for anybody who wants to have that little whiskey in the jar.
Mhm. No, not Sunday night.
Not Sunday night.
Mhm.
Not the night for it tonight.
Well, all in good fun. But
Yeah.
so I'd like to say thank you first to George Lamie. Thank you for being on.
No problem.
George Parsekian,
Of course.
who all I got to do is knock on the door to the basement, and he'll come running and help me out. And my good friend Mark Weinstock, who actually invited me to see the Dolphins face the Giants this year, and I may take him up on it.
Yep, I said
Yeah.
that. And if you can get
Giants are-
down here,
Yeah, I
tailgate,
might.
the whole 9 yards.
Well, we have to see when
They
we
do
have
it,
to
yeah.
see when they schedule it, because there's going to be a week where George and I and the family, we're going to Ireland for a week in September.
good
So
time.
yeah, we are really
Wow.
looking forward to that. So sadly, I was going to go see Leonard Skinner and ZZ Top up in SPAC, but which is up in Saratoga, but that the trip
No.
washed that away.
Yes. Yes,
Hopefully
it should.
Hopefully it won't wash any sporting events away. Fingers crossed.
No, that's an awesome trip.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
Yeah.
good time. It'll be worth it.
Wow, good for you guys.
Well, thank you. But in any event, I'd like to thank you everybody once again for participating. to all my viewers, let me know your thoughts. What do you think? If please subscribe if you haven't. Tell your friends about us, and please let them subscribe. And have a very good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.